Good morning, y'all. It is fall in South Florida. It is feeling good outside. We're getting a wave of temperatures starting in the 60s in the morning and highs in the upper 80s, which does not sound like fall to most of you, but for us Floridians, this is like prime weather before we get into winter, where we will get a couple temperatures down in the 30s, mostly in the 40s, and then it heats back up to 75, 80 degrees in the middle of the day. But I decided that since we've just gone through two hurricanes, both of which brought us some tropical storm force winds, there was quite a bit of stuff that needed to be cleaned up in the garden, and there still is. But I thought I'd just do a quick walkthrough and just kind of take a look at what else still needs to get done as we're getting into the high part of the season, where I'll actually start doing some active gardening. I like to call it active gardening because I'm out for, I don't know, 5 to 10 hours on the days during the weekend, digging up things, planting new things, just getting things looking good, really fertilizing and paying a whole lot of attention to my plants, because I don't really do that during the summer. So I'm going to just do a quick walkthrough and show you guys what's happening. So I'm going to start here on the lanai. I've gotten everything put back together, and we've got quite a few seedlings that are still doing good and about ready to be transplanted and moved to a new home. Maybe not necessarily their permanent home, but quite a few seedlings down here. And now that it's cooling off, we will start getting much better germination. So I'll start a couple of other seeds. Got 2 trees here still that need to go back, that were moved for Hurricane Milton, and they're just still kind of hanging out here. My green cascade, that's a Japanese maple, and then this one is either the plum or the plum cod. I'm not sure because the tag kind of wiped itself out. So just outside the lanai here under the swing, still plenty of weeds to pull. This is my normal life. The hibiscus is pushing new blooms, so it's coming out of its hurricane shock. But this little section is just kind of is what it is. There's not a whole lot I can tell you about this little piece. Always lots of weeds. I don't usually walk in this direction, but I think I'll do it anyway since I already started. The mums that I put in the ground are now starting to open up. It is time for me to do a BT spray on my grapevines. Got a little bit of wind damage to this one. Is the Makawa Yatsubusa. It is time to cut back the sage. That is Salvia leucantha. Need to do a little bit more cleanup around here, hoping that the corn makes it. It's starting to cool off, so the corn probably won't be very happy in these cooler temperatures on the east side of the house, but I'm going to find out what happens. Got a lizard that I'm scaring. He's not looking for me to be down here. Hey, guy. These are 2 mesclun blends that I just threw down into these pots, and they need to get a little bit of fertilizer. I did cut back the copper leaf really hard before the storm because I knew they were going to get messed up. And this is the best looking plant that I have after the storm because the wind burn was really, really bad. It's time to do some trimming. Time to do a whole lot of cleanup over here. I will probably just go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup today. I'm going to try to take advantage of this cool weather and try to get 2 videos filmed today, maybe 3. You can see that my neighbor's Ruellias have stood up after being pushed over in the storm. The plants are really resilient. We don't give them half as much credit as they deserve. I'm going to try and get this bed cleaned up. I would like to get some pretty flowers planted over here in the next couple of weeks. We'll start to see a lot of the flowers coming in for sale at our garden centers now that it's cooling off. You can see that I did get the sweet potato vine taken down. I do need to replace this trellis, but I don't know if I can find another one that wraps the corner like this that I like. And I did clean out the boxes for the most part underneath the window. Gonna have to stake this hibiscus. The plants out front need some cleanup. We did dig out, well, my son dug out one of the, did he dig out one or did he dig out 2? I think he actually dug out 2 of the porter weeds. And you'll see we still have one here that needs to come out. So I'll work on digging that out. I would like to get this bougainvillea out of the pot and into the ground, but I'm not sure where I want to put it because it is such an unruly thing and it stabs me every time I come across here. Let's see if I can get on this side for a better shot. We trimmed down the Alternanthera. We still have a couple of mums that are living in this pot that are about 4 years old now, so they're really at the end of their life. I need to just either pull them out, throw them out, or put them in the ground. What's left of them. It's not a whole lot. The African iris, I did cut all the way back. I'm going to be moving these crotons out of here and putting them into the back bed. We cut down a whole lot of stuff that's out here. So I've been saying in my videos for a couple of weeks now that I want to totally revamp this bed, and the process has begun. So the rose bush has been cut all the way back. Now I can get down in here and get the weeds out. My poor hibiscus that I love so much was partially uprooted in the storm, so I had my son to cut this one back. And I've got some succulents over there that need to get out of pots and either into the ground or tossed. I think a lot of them I'm going to toss. They're just not doing anything for me anymore. The pumpkins have been put back. We've started our collection of mulch and potting soil all over again because I'm going to be going through a lot of it now. It's time to weed this bed again. Sorry, birdie. Didn't mean to scare you. I really want to put something really fluffy and colorful here. I'm thinking super petunias, but I'm not sure. I'm just really tired of seeing this strip with no color. I have planted a little bit of everything here. I've had some salvias here. I've had some geraniums here. I've had some marigolds here. It's just it's a tough spot for me to plant because it gets all of the west sun and things just really burn. But I don't know. I'll find something I'll put there. Got the table put back. We need to do some fertilizing. Time to do a little bit of weeding. I've got to find a silver buttonwood to replace the one that died in the middle here. Need to clean up this bed. I want to pop a couple other things in here. We started cleaning up this bed, cut back a lot of stuff really hard, and I started moving some things around that were in the planters underneath the window in the front. So I brought around the Dianella, and I moved the daylilies. So I'll just be filling in this bed with things that I find around the yard that I want to move. Got more porterweed that was cut back. I'll probably leave those guys there to regrow. They fill in that space nicely. I just really don't like the porterweed. I had to cut really, really hard on the sweet potato vine because it took a lot of wind damage. But it'll grow back. This thing is, you can't kill it. A couple of roses coming in from the cutback. I really should have cut all my roses back at the same time, and I didn't. Got a lot of stuff I need to replant in the green stalk because the wind was not kind. The wind was not kind at all. I don't know what I'm going to get from the bean plants. A lot of them are gone. Some of them are still hanging on, but I don't think I'm going to get what I had intended to get from them. Got one of the tomato plants I think I lost in the storm. Yeah. This is the side that was facing the west. So you can see just how much damage that wind did. Those plants were all strong and healthy, and that wind came in, and that's what's left of the tomato. But the beans took a really, really hard beating. Kind of depressing. But, I mean, it is what it is. Lost some things here that need to be replanted. I've got some moringa growing in here that's not supposed to be growing in here. So those are moringa seedlings that aren't supposed to be grown in that bed. The beans in the bed had started to flower and produce. So you'll see a couple of beans that are in there way past their prime now because we were dealing with storms and I wasn't thinking about coming out here to harvest any beans. But there's not a lot of them because it was just starting to produce. And the Armenian cucumber is making its way up. I really need to fertilize it. It's been set back quite a bit because of the storms. But it's still alive. It's pushing flowers and it's growing. So I'm not going to yank it out. Just going to hope for the best. There's a lot of leaf debris back here that needs to be pulled out. I'll probably pull out a lot of those ferns. I snatch those guys out every year and thin them a bit so that everything back here can breathe. And then they grow back. The mulberry tree, I'm not going to bother trimming it back until after it loses all of its leaves. They're not going to photosynthesize properly because of the windburn damage that's been done to them. But I find that when I prune this tree, when it doesn't really want to be pruned, it sets it back even further. So I'm going to just leave it alone. It'll be dropping its leaves soon. And then I'll cut it back pretty hard. I'll probably bring it down to the level of the window and let it grow back. Right, so starting here at the grill, we've cut back more porterweed, we've cut back some things. Now I can get in here and I can weed, and I can let my mums shine because they are happy. I need to cut back the Angelonia. So many things I need to cut back, but this is what this part of the year is for. So lots of windburn still, lots of windburn. I've got okra that needs to come off. Guys, if you're growing okra and it starts to produce, it is time for you to start harvesting. These things will double in size overnight. So these are like right where they need to be. I need to get these off today. The beautiful honeysuckle has been cut back to nothingness. And it's got a new trellis to grow on because the other one broke in a storm. And that's the privet cassia that's been cut back to sticks. I took out the pepper plant that was here, and I cut the vitex way back so that it can push some new growth. It's still alive. It's still alive. Just going to kind of help it along with pushing some new growth instead of trying to keep all of that windburn stuff alive. This is a cucumber. I think this is a Space Master cucumber that I started from seed a couple weeks ago. I need to give it some fertilizer and some water. The Swiss chard is doing good. We have taken a couple of leaves off of there. The jasmine, I need to do a little bit of wrapping. And it looks like Milton took all of my wind chime away. So I can probably get rid of this wind chime since it's not going to be chiming. It's just a butterfly at this point. Maybe I can find the chimes down on the ground somewhere and put them back on. I don't know. But I need to do a little bit of training here to get this. What is this thing called? It's jasmine. I just don't know what kind of jasmine it is because I shouldn't be growing jasmine. I'm allergic to it. But I told my husband I was going to do it anyway because I like the way it smells. And he said, "You're a glutton for punishment." He's right. He's usually right. I'm trying to do this in frame, but working with one hand is not very easy. Dropping some sap on me. I don't really want. So great, I broke it. I don't want to have to come back here and do this. So I'm going to do it while I'm standing here. So I want to use some of this cool weather to get something else accomplished. So I'll do a little bit more winding on that later. I need to trim the podocarpus. The Lespedeza was taken all the way back down. I need to bring out, I need to take out that basil. And it's time to fertilize the azaleas. I see my kids did not pick up all the yard waste. Trim that branch off of the oak tree. There. I have to trim branches off of this tree on a regular or they take over. Got some ageratum growing down here that needs to be pulled out. It is time to trim the Durantas. They are slowing down now with it cooling off a little bit, but they still have to be trimmed on a regular basis. The Roses of Sharon, 1, 2, 3, need fertilizer really, really bad. But I'm not going to stress myself out about it. I can't do everything all at once. A lot of cleanup to do here. Just want to probably pull out these Angelonia because it's going to get a little bit too cool on this side of the house. This is the north side. And they don't get a whole lot of sun over here. So I'll probably need to pull those out. Make some space for some other things. I've got some salvias that need to be pulled out here. The papyrus is struggling. But I don't know. That lantana's got some windburn on it, but it'll be okay. I'm going to dig out these grasses that are here. I don't like them. I'm tired of fighting with them. The hibiscus is doing fine. The gardenia needs fertilizer. It's like really, really chlorotic. That hibiscus is doing fine. This side is actually doing okay. I just need to do some weeding. Got a lot of these grasses that grow up here and fill in. I just need to pull those things out. I'll cut that clerodendron back and it'll be fine. The red maple is going through its fall. This is what we get. We don't get the bright colors, but they do change and they drop their leaves. I don't want to put that one in the ground, but I do want to put this crepe myrtle in the ground. So that'll be a project that I'll have to work on. Got a lot of windburn here. The zinnias are done. I need to just snatch them all out. The sun patience seem to be doing much better now. They've had 6 or 7 months to root in, and with it cooling down now, they'll really get comfortable here. The rose here needs to be cut back. I had my son to cut back the clerodendron. This is what happens when you let a 12-year-old trim your plants. I wasn't expecting perfection. I appreciate their help, but he definitely didn't do a professional job here. This rose, I think, is just gorgeous. And I'm still getting buds, so I'm not going to cut that one back just yet. I'll give it another week or so. But that's it. That's what the garden's looking like right now. Not a whole lot of interesting things going on out here right now, but in the next couple weeks, you will see what a Florida garden can look like when it's happy and it's not being burned to death by the sun and it's getting proper nourishment it will start to wake up and start to look pretty. I've come to the conclusion that I cannot make my entire garden look good all at one time. It's just too much. I'm the only person who manages it. So it's hard. It's really hard to make all of it look good at one time. But I can always find some part of it that I'm in love with and I'm proud of. And then I share it with you guys. You get the good, the bad, the ugly, because it's a real garden. I just do it because it's fun. It's my peace. It's how I maintain my sanity. Some will question whether I have my sanity, but I'm telling you, without my garden, I would be a very unpleasant person to deal with. So guys, that's it for this video. I'm gonna try to film 2 videos of actual work. I'm gonna try and get those crotons moved from the front and put them back into this northwest corner where I've been working for the last couple days. And you guys will see that happen in a couple days. Thanks so much for watching, guys. So see you later.